One last thing. I have a philosophy when it comes to chiropractors. I'm passionate about. I've always had a passion or a love for chiropractic. Okay, but I'm really just on fire for chiropractors, the people, and I have a belief, whether they're coming out of school like this now or not. Uh, to me, from a businessman standpoint, I see the chiropractor does more for mankind in one day. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been doing business now for almost 40 years, in one shape or, whether it's chiropractic practice or auto repair businesses and all the different businesses I've been involved with. I look at a chiropractor differently. Like, okay, I've owned auto repair business. I've owned franchises. I've done all these equipment leasing companies, rental, all that stuff. But chiropractic is just different. I've always seen it like, a chiropractor does more for mankind in one day than most attorneys I've met do in a lifetime. And yet, so many chiropractors don't have that identity and understanding of what they're really doing. I mean, they are touching and transforming lives. They should be the most expensive doctor to see.
It should be.
Not the minimalist, right? So I believe in chiropractic more than most chiropractors do, and it drives me nuts. Last but not least, you said something about, that when you're not focused on yourself and you focus on the patient, that's where the miracle takes place, right?
Yes.
Another
present
rule
time consciousness.
Yeah, I have a good friend of mine, Dr. Rick Marks. Great guy to look up. Anybody who's watching, look up Dr. Rick Marks. Amazing communicator on relationships. He's got more master degrees than we can shake a stick at. But relationships, parenting, marriage, leadership, the guy is fantastic. But he confirmed one time when I was talking to him about humility and humility of service. He said, well, Tom, he goes, do you know that it's impossible? He goes, it's impossible to be depressed. It's impossible to be anxious. It's impossible to be frustrated when you're serving someone else. You can only be angry, depressed, anxious. And what do we have? We have a whole society that's taken all these drugs for what? Anxiety and depression. Because why? Because we're a self-centered society. And the magic of chiropractic is what I've always seen is like,
that is,
man, you get to lay
so
hands.
true.
You get to lay hands on people every day, and you get to serve. And if your focus is on the patient, it can't be on you, and you're not going to be fearful. You're not going to be anxious. And it was great, just confirmation. Yeah, Dr. Rick, that's exactly what I've been experiencing.
That's
amazing.
phenomenal. That explains the whole concept of what I talked about earlier. I mean, as soon as I put my hands on a patient and you start to make that adjustment, when it's not about me any longer, that's phenomenal. That's the definition that goes right alongside of that. Mm-hmm. I feel like every day is a meme. I don't know. In practice, and I tell this to every student, every single shift, I laugh, I high five and cheer, and I cry. It's a mature practice. So I've known these people for many cases 30 years. I've seen them every single week of my entire practice. There's those patients, then there's those who are newer. And so when something bad happens in their family, I know them so well, I feel it. That sympathy is there. And then in today's new definition, we understand that sometimes there is empathy, because I do feel that. And that's something that many of us are so close to our patients. They say that we shouldn't become friends with our patients. We shouldn't do business with them. I exclusively do business with my patients. I love my patients. They're not just friends, they're family. Now, I don't necessarily treat family great all the time.
Right.
I talk to them a certain way, and I talk to patients that same way, which sometimes gets me in trouble. But nonetheless, when we're dealing with a patient one-on-one, and we have that moment where we're thinking about something else. We get sidetracked. I've got farms, I've got gyms, I own a gym franchise, and we've got other things that we're doing. If I get off track in my brain, I'm not present time conscious. That's not very serving. That patient doesn't get my very best. The day will suffer. If you want to have a practice that starts to lose volume, allow patients to get half of your attention when you give them an adjustment. When your intent is not there about the entire adjustment, you know why they're here. This is visit, let's say 34 of a biophysics. I'm a CBP, chiropractic biophysics practitioner. So it's visit number 34. I know I'm taking a new x-ray today for a follow-up. There's intent behind everything. They're either in the process of, and there's an end goal in mind. But if I lose that, and I do every day, as does everybody, we're just not perfectly present. But when we need to get back on track, when we recognize that we're off track, you take that moment, close your eyes, get back in state, and then everything falls into place. We were talking about these doctors coming back, coming out of school. I want to be really clear that I'm not who everybody thinks I am. I'm trying to be. And I didn't get into chiropractic because I even understood it. We judge these new students going into school as if they're supposed to know the philosophy. I arrived. I can't tell you I understood why I even went, other than my chiropractor said, and my chiropractor was Greg Serrato. He was in Tarpon Springs. He was a member of the FCS. He was a DE doctor at the time. And he'd said, being a chiropractor, it's like going to a party. You ever go to a party, Paul? Like, well, yeah. So I'm a little kid. I'm in the 7th, 8th grade. And he says, you talk to some people for a few minutes and you're kind of done. You go talk to some other people for a few minutes and then you're done. Go to the next room. He says, the thing about being a chiropractor is that you are always the life of the party. And I loved that. Now, today I understand that I worship the one who is the way, the truth, and the life. But in the chiropractic office, we are always the life of the party. We get to be on the stage. If you know your strengths finders tests, or if you do a disc profile, I'm a woo. I love when patients like me. I love it when people like me. But the very next thing I want to do is I want to repair them. So, hey, I want you to like and trust me. Now I want you to let me fix you. And so that, I didn't know that, but that was my calling.